we're going to be discussing our weekly episodes back. Are they better than binging? So just to kind of set the scenario up real quick, we all remember Stranger Things Season 1 comes out. We were able to binge it over the weekend. Word of mouth made that show a hit. Actually, frankly, it made Netflix. And so binging became the thing everybody tried to do. As more streaming services came out, so did weekly releases. Prime really leads with weekly releases. HBO, for the most part. Disney can't choose what the hell they want to do. They keep going back and forth. But debating on whether or not they even trust the show, really, is what it sounds like. So just right off the top, before we start breaking down each of these different pros and cons, what is your guys' preference? Do you prefer weekly or do you prefer the binge?
Weekly, 100%.
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to both, but I think I prefer a well-done show that comes out weekly and you really want to see it. I think that's the best way to consume it.
Yeah. I can't even I don't even know if I can come up with an argument for a binge anymore. Like, just what it's screwed Marvel. It is like screwed when Prime does that with shows. And then when they drop weekly, it's like the conversation online goes for way more weeks and way more months with Prime than if they just binge drop everything. Then people talk about it one weekend and it's over. Like
I think that that one weekend that will get you the subscriptions. So like Stranger Things, boom, first season came out, or was it Squid Games? Everybody's talking about that for a week or a weekend or something like that, and they got the subscription. Okay, you're locked in, but that can drop off if you don't have a good show coming up the following couple weeks that has a weekly episode.
Right.
Then those subs are gone. But just the weekly series might not be exciting enough to get the initial subscription. So I think a combination really works well, but the shows have to be written to be released in that way too. If you have a really good cliffhanger series that does small arcs like Star Trek does, then you drop it all in once. Sure, they can watch it all in one sitting, but it leaves you with the cliffhanger at the end of every week that you can really want to get back to and waiting for it to come out, versus a show like Squid Game or I don't know, a lot of them where it's perfectly well written to just sit and watch the whole thing also.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, what's the views look like too? Does it like tailor off or whatnot when it's like weekly? So what happens to me really is at first I love the weekly thing. It was exciting to go home one day, and I think it hit me the hardest when Mandalorian was coming out. I was super excited for that first season of Mandalorian. When the episode dropped, I was excited to go home and check it out. Now I find myself forgetting about shows because of that. And I think it happened to me with Fallout. No, I love Fallout. I love the Fallout show. But it's just like time goes, you're busy, things, whatever happen in life. Are the views like tapering down as well? And maybe that's a thing that some things look at. I don't know. But for me though, it gets forgotten. And then I'm excited to be like, oh shit, I forgot that I have 3 episodes instead of 1. And that's what gets me excited now. I love staying up late and watching that Squid Game's second season. That was like my massive event now instead of just going home.
And Stranger Things recently, you had like a whole party for it. That was a whole binge.
Yeah. People come over for that. So I think I'm back to the binging now. That's me.
Well, let's fully discuss each model and really kind of think this through, because there's also a third model that I think might be the actual right answer. I'll throw that out there. But first off, for the weekly version, you have that time to digest it. So like if it's I'm going to say Night of the Seven Kingdoms, although I think those episodes are too damn short and I'm pissed off every time I see those credits. But we have time to think about like, oh man, what does this mean to have Baylor decide to help back up Duncan? By the way, when we're recording this, some of these people haven't watched the episode, so I'm not going to say anything, the listeners. But you have time to think, well, what's that mean when you split the Targaryens on 2 different sides of the tournament? And you have a whole time to think about it. Also, theory crafting. I love theory crafting. Me and Thomas are both very active on social media. And so we're sitting there like, oh, did you guys catch the rings that Trevor kept? That means that he still kind of likes being the Mandarin, things like that. Do
you guys remember WandaVision? There was so much, what do you call that?
It's a great one.
Yeah. Lore creation. People were just theorizing. That's what they're theorizing about what each little tiny piece of it meant. If you didn't have that gap of a week in between, then the fans would have just watched it all. But there's so much attention brought to Disney just by that, imagination that people were putting into it.
Yeah. See, I think I get why people like binging, but I don't know if it's healthy for the show, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if it's like a healthy model and that's why I think so many shows and streaming, like you could say Netflix only does binging, but they also only drop Stranger Things in segments. So even they know that they don't want you to watch it all in one sitting. Like, so I think that, if you're a reviewer, most reviewers, I think, prefer that also not to be the case, because it's hard to break down every episode in the way you'd like to in one time. It's hard for you to have a conversation, especially it's like something really cool happens, like Wonder Man, for example. Like the first 3 episodes had little nuggets, but then you get to episode 4 and all you want to talk about is episode 4 because it was so amazing. And it was like, whoa, it like stopped the whole season in its tracks. And then you're like, wait, what happened in episodes 1 through 3 again? And I think there's not a lot of shows that I just like, unless I really stumble on it, I'm like, God, this is so amazing. How did I not know about it? That I love binging. Like, I don't know, not for me, but I could see
that's
why
a
people
pacing
like it.
thing though, right? Because what you're talking about there is when a studio knows that they're going to release all the episodes at once, they can treat it more like a movie, which Disney's really struggling with this whole thing. And so then you could throw a doorman in the middle because you know that they're going to immediately go to the next one and get right back on track. But could you imagine doorman coming out and you had a week beforehand and a week afterwards? You'd be extremely lost on what happened with Simon and Trevor.
That's true.
So something like that could throw you off even more. And I think that with weekly episodes, it takes classic show Bibles and classic showrunners to make sure that every episode feels like it could stand on its own. And a lot of production companies have forgotten that over the time. Even a show like Stranger Things. If you look at Stranger Things, people were complaining about, the second part. If we look at those as weekly releases, those would have felt so fillery, so boring.
Yeah.
And we would have had like 3 weeks before the next big hit.
That's true.
So you mentioned there was a third formula. Is that the third formula? Is the best part to do segments?
The third formula is releasing 2 to 3 episodes in the first week and then doing weekly after that. Disney has also done that with like Mandalorian or like Andor releasing 3 at a time. But again, the writing is indicative that you are going to release them in 3 at a time.
Right.
And
As
then like
natural
with the
pauses.
batch system, right. And the batch thing too, it's like, well, you have to set up and punch in the first 2 episodes, then that launches. So basically the initial premiere has to be bigger. That's why they're doing that.
Yeah.
But I think that is really good because then all of a sudden, boom, we set off that one thing I loved about Andor is I didn't necessarily, outside of challenge, except that we did have to review it for that, but I was able to like watch those 3 episodes comfortably over the week. And I am a person who would watch them fast, but Jonathan might not be. And so I'm like, oh, did you get to this part next week? Oh, watch that and tell me when you get home. Watch that and then we'll talk about it. And that's fun, And you have 3 episodes to play with all week long, and instead of just being like the one episode.
Yeah.
So-
But that was what was tricky with Andor in particular. It's like, I want to watch all 3, but then I was also watching it with Christina, and she was like, okay, wait, I got to go to the bathroom. I want to make snacks. I want to get food. And you're like, we got to watch the last one. We're like 2 of 3, and so that was frustrating.
No, but I think that attests to like what John's talking about. It keeps us talking about it longer, potentially like subscribing for a second month. You're forced to. And I thought Stranger Things, the season 5, was perfect because it kept us talking for 3 months of it. What was it? Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, or like 2 months of it? Yeah, whatever. It kept it prolonging, of that conversation. So whether it was good or bad, it still was talked about.
It's Netflix really breaking their mold though, because Netflix is definitely the king of binge. And if we're looking at the binge side of things, the nice thing about that is everything is complete. When something is long, if for some reason Fallout, let's go with Fallout. Say you forgot the Fallout was coming out and you were just subbing to Prime for 1 month. Let's say that was the case. And so you're like, you know what? I forgot to finish that. So I've never seen, there are so many shows I have not seen the end of because I forgot about them. If I'm thinking about it back, like Hacks, I watched the first 2 seasons, fantastic. And I just like forgot to press play on that season 3. So I sat down and do it again. I have finished it. It's great. Season 4, I think. But anyways, that's the thing, right? So sometimes you don't finish shows and a show's finish is part of its complete arc. So if you don't see the ending, like with Fallout, if you didn't see that ending for season 2, you wouldn't know about the NCR at full strength or anything like that. And that would really feel empty. That's a weakness to weekly and a strength to binge, just because it gives you the complete package. You walk away knowing it all.
And that's what I say. I forget about it. So like right now, I just looked it up. The Rings of Power. I'm on episode 6 out of 8. Now, a part of that is probably because it's not very good, right? But like again, like I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, man, I could have sworn I thought that like Wizard disappeared, and I thought the girl maybe that was the end of season 1, and I'm getting them blurred. Like, whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is season 1.
Yeah, see,
I can't even remember, honestly.
think
That's
it's
all
also
I
a good
remember.
Not very
episode.
good.
Like finally, I was getting into the show, and it's the last episode. I'm like, oh, now it gets good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
Yeah.
So for me with Fallout, for example, like as I was thinking about this a lot, we kept bringing it up. I didn't think that season 2 was as strong as season 1. I wasn't like as invested in it. When we got to episode, I think it was episode 4 or 5, I was like, wow, that was a super good one. And then it felt like a drag through it. And then episode 7 and 8, I was like, whoa, this is really good. But like, yeah, I think because it was weekly and I didn't think it was that good. Like if I didn't just feel like I had to stick through it because I love Fallout, I probably would have stopped watching it, and I would have, but yeah, maybe a binge model would have made me finish it quicker. I don't know. I almost didn't get to the end, long story short, though, and I'm glad I did. It was really good, but I didn't like this season as much as I liked season 1.
You know, my wife said the same thing because she was really into season 1 with me.
Yeah.
And so she kind of tapered off of season 2, but I still really enjoyed it. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I think like 2 or 3 episodes in, she's like, I'm not really into it. And I'm like, look, woman, I've been waiting to watch this with you. I'm gonna slit your throat right now because I could have been caught up. Okay. God. So then I just finished the last couple episodes without her. Like, oh my goodness.
And she probably would have loved those too. But see, yeah, I guess I think.
Well, I'm not letting her have the chance.
Totally. I think Craig kind of nailed it. As long as the writing is meant for the type of release model, I think it's good. Like, you know, Stranger Things totally fit that release model. Wonder Man totally fit that release model, and it worked perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they binge dropped Fallout, if I would have liked it more.
Do you think they could do a hybrid model too, where they would have to film 2 seasons at once, but say they're pretty sure people are going to love this, so they drop the full first season so you can binge it, and then 1 month later, season 2 starts on a weekly release?
That would be crazy.
That's pretty hot. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that'd be a lot of money for them to invest, but if that gives that big punch of a lot of new subscribers, and then they're locked in for a weekly subscription after that, so they'll stay on. I can't imagine that not being, you know, huge profits for them.
Yeah, release that second season 2 when it's like that time to have to resubscribe. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with that, Jonathan, is it tells me worrisomely that's a word. Let's double check. No Scrabbles. That might be season 1's not like a complete story. You know, I hate when they are so
Really
dependent
true.
on my only
You're
complaint
building
with
up for a
Fallout.
dragon battle that never comes.
Yeah, exactly. House of the Dragon or Fallout. My only complaint with Fallout was like it was more set up in season 2 because they knew that they were going to do season 3.
Right.
Season 1 they didn't know they were going to do season
Yeah.
2, so it felt more complete.
Right.
And
That's true. There you go.
that to me, I'm a little worried about that, but I do like that. Now, Jonathan, I think you watch shows like you watch an episode partially, right, and then come back to that same episode
of
and finish
times,
it up
yeah.
later.
So there's a
What is
lot of
that
shows
like
that
for
I
you?
won't. Yeah, it does disrupt the show, the flow of the show a lot. But there's a lot of shows that, like, you know, I won't watch with the family because they won't like them or it's not appropriate or something like that. But my wife doesn't like anything scary, so if it's anything like that or too gory,
Yep.
even something like Fallout, she's just not interested. And so I watch that on my phone, and usually 30 minutes at a time on my lunch break. So sometimes if I'm doing dishes or something like that, you know, I'll set up the phone and watch while I'm doing dishes and things. But you know, a little bit of some of the times I'm distracted by cleaning and things, so I don't even really fully engage with it. But that does kind of make it to where something will happen later on. I'm thinking back like, wait, I don't remember how they got to that point. And so sometimes I'll rewatch an episode really if I think I just don't remember what happened in it. But other times I feel like I get to the end of the season and, you know, the arc didn't really pay off because I missed too much of it. So that really, it's really not great to have it broken up in pieces like that.
That rewatching thing reminds me of something I often do when it's a weekly release. I'll go back when it's like getting to that, you know, the act 2 to 3, the all is lost moment, as I'll go back and rewatch the first part of the season again. And that's something that you can't do with binging. And I don't know, do you guys do that at all? Or is that just kind of a me thing?
No, I do that. Like, especially like when it came to Fallout, because by the time it came to, I think, episode 8, I kind of forgot what happened in the season. I was like, wait, I better go back. And then I kind of like, I didn't watch it, but like I kind of did a Jonathan watch it. You know, I was like doing dishes and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that part happened. And then, you know, so yeah, I think, especially if it's dense, right? Like if a show's like Andor is so dense, like you can watch those episodes a couple times and you're like, whoa, I didn't even catch that, you know, because it's subtle. But Netflix shows are meant to spoon feed you. They're like, we're walking in the kitchen. I'm making a sandwich. You know, it's like you don't have to like pay attention as much. So I think it also depends on like what network it's on too. Cause
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, they're written for you to binge and not pay attention too much. That reminds me so much of Wednesday.
Yeah.
That show is very much where like you can half pay attention and get exactly what's going on.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And so I didn't like season 2. I was like, I feel like they're spoon feeding me everything they're doing. And it's like, I love season 1, but I'm like, I don't need that, you know?
Damn, see, I'm the opposite. I didn't mind season 2. I think I didn't even finish season 1.
Oh, really? You just jumped to season 2?
Chance. Yeah, the Wendy's promotions, man. I was like, okay, I want a
They were
Frosty
pretty
and
awesome.
shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me try it again. And then I was like,
the Baconator got me, guys.
So that's what got me. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I don't need to finish season 1. I think I get it now.
Yeah.
So let's look at some different categories for TV shows and give a verdict on each one. See if this helps us out a little bit. So mystery box, we're talking Severance, or theory shows, which we're talking WandaVision. Do you guys feel like those are better served by weekly releases or binge releases?
Weekly.
I think that's better weekly. That's the one that you're talking about at the water cooler for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
social
I think
media
weekly
driven.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can always have an episode that kind of drops something where it's like, oh my gosh, the mystery, right? You know, psychological those type things.
As a content creator, it's nice to be able to kind of milk those shows a lot, to kind of throw those out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Character dramas, a Better Call Saul. By the way, guys, I just finished Pluribus finally. Holy cow.
Such a good
So
one.
good.
It's so good.
See, I like to binge those. I feel like because it's not so much like the cliffhanger leading into the next season, but it's a bigger arc. The whole arc is all cohesive in one stretch. So to binge a show like that, I think is a lot better.
That makes
Like
sense.
Pluribus.
As someone who tried to make Pluribus their personality online, man, that was so fun. Like, I was talking to so many people and like dropping things on Reddit and then like diving in. That was also like, for me, you know, since there's no office to go to, it was like, that was a water cooler moment. Because everybody was like, wait, what happened? Why did Maniosos go there? Where's he driving off to? Or like, how is he going to get across? Or like, oh man, he, you know, now that the others got him, like, where are they going to take him? So, man, that weekly conversation of that show, the John Cena moment where he popped up, holy crap, that was so fun.
Wild.
So I loved, I don't know. To me, that was great. A great weekly show.
For other more character-driven shows, I'll go back to like a Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad. I'm just going with the Gilliam's projects. I think for those, I have to be so wrapped in their psyche and like how it slowly evolves over, because you'll notice like cheaper sitcoms, you'll be like, yeah, but 2 episodes ago, she cheated on you. You shouldn't be friends with her this episode. But they plan on you watching this weekly, so it's actually been 3 weeks. And so I don't think those binge well. A great example, as much as I've seen it 100 times, maybe not. I'm not as much as Thomas. How I Met Your Mother. When you watch How I Met Your Mother, they go through relationships like a marathon runner goes through miles. And so it's hard when you're binging that. You're like, there's no way you're ready to go out with another date. This just happened last week, our last episode, 30 minutes ago.
But yeah,
and
if you're watching it weekly, then it's like, well, it's next weekend, and that whole relationship crash was a week ago, and they went to work in between and stuff. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So a Better Call Saul type show where it's really about the guy's psyche that actually sticks together and slowly grows. That's binge worthy, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Well said.
All right, so then let's go to the How I Met Your Mother's, the Everybody Loves Raymond, the I Love Lucy's, the sitcoms. Are those better weekly or are those better binges?
You know, you said like the whole like 30 minutes episode, you're not ready for those type of relationships, but I think those are perfect binges because they're just background music to me. Throw on some I Love Lucy. I wouldn't carry them while I'm doing house chores and stuff like that. And she's at the chocolate factory again, right? Shove the chocolates in her mouth, right? So I think to me those are great like background sounds.
Yeah. So they're best as reruns, right? It is kind of a binge thing, but it's like, well, I'm not binging it like I'm going to sit and watch every episode of I Love Lucy, but you know, I'll put it on while I'm cleaning the house, or you know, when somebody comes over to visit or whatever. Like, but you could still find yourself getting lost in a couple episodes real easy.
Yeah.
What's a new streaming sitcom that's done really well? I'm like trying to think of one. Like I can't even.
You know, I just saw the first couple episodes of the new. I don't know how old this is. It might have been 5 years ago or something. Night Court. There's like a new version of it that came out. Have you guys seen that?
Good example. Yeah.
We just watched a couple episodes. I think yesterday, the day before yesterday, and it's actually pretty funny. There's not a lot of sitcoms where I'm actually like stopping to chuckle because you know it's genuinely funny when it's that type of kind of like simple writing or it seems like cheesy writing. But no, it was pretty funny.
Nice.
I'll give you, so sitcoms nowadays I think use less live audiences, but if we take away the live audience aspect of it, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, a lot of those kind of comedies, 30 Rocks, from like the last 10 years. So a lot
Always
of those
Sunny
I
in
think have
Philadelphia.
that same thing. Always Sunny in
Yeah.
Philadelphia. And the binge aspect of that, I credit to the fact that it's a rerun, that you've seen it already before, because
Mhm.
I can't remember his name, but there was a psychologist I was just listening to talking about how for certain personalities, and it's part of a neurodivergent thing, where rewatching, because obviously it's me, rewatching something many times basically is a comfort to you because your mind overthinks about things. And so when there's something that you haven't seen before, your mind is actively trying to solve the problem. And if you already know the answer to the problem, your mind will let you actually relax. And so that's why to relax, you watch Bob's Burgers again or something like that,
It's like listening to music that because you know when
Exactly.
the beat drops or when that instrument comes in or whatever.
For
so
some
it's soothing for
people,
you.
the TV show version is that. But like, yeah, a lot of people listen to the same song again over and over again. So I think for the first time watching, it might be weekly, but afterwards, binge is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So that's one case where, the binge is the best way. You're right. Because like my wife's very much like that. Watch the same show over and over again. But I can't. I have a really hard time with that. I get super bored. So it's like I need like always
and that's the difference is the boredom versus actual relaxing, because the people it's like a hypertension thing, hyper attention. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not hypertension. That's high blood pressure. But it is a thing where it's like your brain doesn't allow you to relax because it's paying attention too much to things. And so when you watch something you've already seen too many times, then it's finally your brain like actually shuts off. Like personally for me, I sleep every night watching the same shows that I always watch. So I'll put on American Dad, Family Guy, Simpsons, whatever, Bob's Burgers, whatever. I'll put one of those on. I've already seen every episode countless times, but then my mind could actually go to sleep. And otherwise, I literally wake up when stupid Hulu, fuck you Hulu, stupid Hulu says, "Are you still watching this?" I wake up every night, press the button, and then go back to sleep. I don't know why it does it, but I do.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Last one is high action movies. So we're looking at anything John Cena, anything The Rock. What kind of high action movies or shows do you guys feel like those are binge worthy or week to week?
Yeah, so I would say maybe Squid Game's in because that's high action. There's
great
people
one.
getting shot in the face every episode, right? I think that's the best kind to binge though, because you get that adrenaline pumping and stuff. You don't want to stop and then wait a week for the next episode. You want to continue with that because you're emotionally invested. You're getting excited about these characters or whatever the situation is, and so yeah, I think those ones that really get you amped up, you want to just keep going. That's the kind you'll stay up until 2 a.m. trying to finish the series.
True.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching.
Set me up until 2.
Yeah.
Just did.
I was trying to like watch all of Peacemaker 1 to get to Peacemaker season 2. And it was weird. Like, I love that show. I think it's incredible, super good. But I could only watch like a couple episodes of it and be like, all right, I need a break. So I don't know. I think for me, it's more still weekly. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I think the nice thing with Peacemakers is it's enough comedy to help out, but maybe with just pure action, like let's say Squid Game for that one. I think you're right, John. Maybe it takes too long to amp you back up to necessarily get you, every week if you had to like slow your heart rate down and then get it back up. I could see something like that maybe. But yeah, Peacemaker is one of those fun things. Luckily, we've got so many good shows out right now. Future Commandos, same thing, where it's like there's enough comedy to where I was like, I'm in the world with the comedy as well, so it helps out, I guess.
Yeah, it also sounds like it depends on your personality is what it also sounds like.
There it is.
That's what I'm learning as we're all talking about it. It's like, if you're the kind of person that needs repetition to feel comfortable, then yeah, you probably like a binge. But if you're somebody who gets bored a lot and you want new things, it's like, maybe the weekly's the way to go. So it's like, I don't know, I guess it depends on your attention span or your level of tism.
Yeah. Like The Mandalorian is weekly, and I think it's perfect weekly. That's high action. But it's also one of those things like as it's going, I'm sitting there rewatching episodes because I want to make sure to catch all the little references in the background and stuff like it needs more dissection. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough.
One thing you guys touched on early on too is like when you don't know, don't remember what to watch or whatever because there's so many streaming services, you kind of forget that you were watching the show and 3 or 4 episodes come out, or something like that. That happens with me a lot too. So something that I can binge, then I know every time I have a window to sit down and watch something, that's the show I'm going to go to until it's all the way done. And then I look around like, okay, well, what do I watch next? And, I look at the list that Frank has for me or something like that. and then okay,
There's
this is
literally
the
not
next
one
one.
to say,
I'll watch all of these ones next. But
Yeah.
yeah, I have that same problem where sometimes I'll have just my lunch break, or I have a window of time where I can watch something. I'm like, crap, I don't know what I'm supposed to be watching, but come to find out, oh wait, I'm behind on Star Trek or something like that, and then I missed that window. But it's hard to keep up with sometimes. There's too many options these days.
There's a ton.
So yeah, I like that idea that it comes down to personality, and then also it comes down to a different show. I think that's a good way to look at it.